Monday, December 28th, 2020, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Today we're going to look at the Hunt brothers and the fact that they knew that the only way to buy silver or even gold for that matter was to demand physical delivery. And a lot of you, of course, know about this already, but I get new viewers, new subscribers every day. So we need to keep people up to date on that. Before that, we're going to look at some of the news that's out overnight, the markets, and then we're going to go into the Hunt brothers story briefly today. So the big news overnight, of course, is that President Trump caved in and signed the relief bill, the COVID-19 relief bill. Despite that, though, it says here, Trump signs COVID-19 relief bill with $600 checks, asks Congress to approve increase later. And of course, it wasn't just $900 billion aid bill for COVID. It was a total of $2.3 trillion aid bill that will keep the government going until September of next year. This, of course, just goes to show, unfortunately, that, and this is not only in the US, but everywhere around the world, especially the Western world, that the public is addicted to big government, that it's going to be very hard to wean off the public off big government, welfare state spending, warfare corporate state spending. Unfortunately, that's the way things are going. It's only going to get worse. And there will be a tipping point, which I think we're very near, where currencies actually collapse because of the burden of debt, loss of confidence as well in the monetary authorities. But anyway, that's the headline today. The markets, of course, have reacted positively. The stock market right now, the Dow future is up 130 points. It's 8:45 a.m. London time. It is going to be a little quieter, I think, the markets in this period of the year, just before New Year's, but maybe not this year because a lot of traders, fund managers have been working from home, and it's no different right now. And a lot of them probably haven't gone away on holidays. So yeah, the future is up 0.5%, the Dow future. It has been up as much as 185. Gold and silver have done well overnight. They're coming back down a little bit here. And another reason why to talk about physical, right? We got spot gold at 1883.90. It's up just under $5. It has been as high as 1900, so that's the high. The low has been 1875. Silver is outperforming. Gold is up 0.25%, but silver is up over 2%. It's at 26.35. High's been 26.78. So up over $0.50 a silver. S&P future is up 2/3%. NASDAQ 100 future up 2/3 as well. The fiat currencies, sterling is unchanged, 135.60. The euro is up 0.4% at 122.37. And the dollar is down 0.25% versus the yen at 103.42. WTI crude is up just under 1% at 48.59. And the 10-year yield right now is at 0.95%. So there you go. That's what's going on this morning. Physical, silver, and gold, of course. Many people, when they think about the Hunt brothers, all they've been told by the mainstream media is that the Hunt brothers tried to corner the silver market in 1980. They don't give you the backstory about the Hunt family, for that matter. So the Hunt brothers, of course, were Nelson Bunker Hunt, William Herbert Hunt, and Lamar Hunt. Most people, when they think of the Hunt brothers and the silver market, they think of Bunker Hunt, right? And their father, though, he was an oil magnate from Texas, and he was one of the richest men in the world at the time. So there's a lot more to it than just the Hunt brothers trying to corner the silver market in 1980. He also was the man who developed the oil fields, started looking for oil in Kuwait. So they were one of the richest families in the world. And then in 1971, of course, Richard Nixon closed the gold window and took the dollar off gold. Of course, they knew what was coming. After Nixon closed the gold window, they knew that the United States had been inflating the system. The closing of the gold window in August of 1971 is basically a bank run from the major European countries, the major traders, countries that had trading relations with the U.S. They knew that the U.S. was inflating the monetary system. And by that, I mean they were creating paper money without the backing that they should have at $35 an ounce. So they wanted their gold. And the Hunt family, of course, they had huge income in dollars from their oil business. And at the time, though, they couldn't buy gold because gold was banned from U.S. domestically. People couldn't buy monetary gold. That was, of course, implemented by FDR in 1933. Gold confiscation and banning gold ownership. Gold would only be legalized again in the U.S. on January 1st, 1975. So they started buying silver contracts on the COMEX, silver futures. Silver wasn't banned and it was traded on COMEX. And also they started taking delivery of the silver. And they started early in the 70s after Nixon closed the gold window. And they kept doing it through the 70s. And there are rumors and speculation that they were involved later on with other sovereign countries in buying silver. And there's even talk that the state of Texas was involved as well as a state, not just the Hunt brothers, in buying physical silver through the COMEX and other avenues as well. And the Hunt brothers were the front towards the end. And that's when silver went to almost $50 in January of 1980. So what did the bankers who control basically the bullion market, unfortunately, they control the COMEX, they control and own the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, of course. They changed the rules. So you couldn't buy or initiate a long position anymore. That's the rule change. So can you imagine in a free market, you can't go and buy something? Well, the bottom fell out of the silver market and silver collapsed. And that's when gold also topped just below 900. So that was the Hunt brothers. And it was the Federal Reserve, the COMEX, the Treasury, and the banks that engineered this because silver and gold were becoming a threat to the Federal Reserve. They had to reimpose their power of the Federal Reserve note. And that's the story of the Hunt brothers. But they weren't just buying the futures. They were taking delivery. And that's what it's all about. Can we as individuals affect that? Of course not. But what you need to be aware of if you're new to gold and silver, the precious metals, is that the only way to own precious metals is through the physical market. You need to own it physically because the gold futures, ETFs like GLD or AAAU, which was bought by Goldman Sachs from the Perth Mint, they're not really physical. They're just claims, and a lot of times they only track the price. And even if there are ways to get delivery, the bankers and the central bankers and the governments, they will change the rules if things get too, how can I say, there's too much demand and people want a delivery of the physical. So that's why you need to try to avoid, if you're going to think about getting involved in precious metals, first of all, you need to do a lot of homework, learn what kind of coins and bars you can get, That's depending, of course, on in which country you live. I don't advise people just for the UK or the US, anywhere. And yeah, find the most reputable dealers who have been in business for a long time. Try to get the best deal. That's not necessarily the only way to get gold and silver. Just because a dealer has the lowest premiums doesn't mean to say that you should get it from that dealer. You need to make sure the dealer has a reputation, right? It's better to have peace of mind with the precious metals that you buy than really just getting the best deal sometimes, I would say. Here in the UK, a lot of viewers have asked me for years where they can get gold and silver. I always say, do your homework. Look at the different dealers online, or you might have coin dealers in the town that you live. But I've given my viewers a promo code, maneco64, if they want to get physical gold and silver at goldinvestments.co.uk. They've been in business. It's going to be 40 years next year. It's a family-run business, Gold Investments. They're based in the city of London. I've dealt with other dealers other than Gold Investments, but I started dealing with them in 2002 with Oliver Temple's and Simon Temple's dad, Mike Temple, so I know them. So that's who I use. You don't have to use them, but if you do, you'll get a 0.5% discount if you quote my promo code maneco64. So yeah, the gold futures, unfortunately, and the lbma as well, which is the physical market in London. It's part of really the foreign exchange market. Those markets are highly speculative, highly leveraged, and hypothecated. That's the thing about the city of London. They lend things over many times. So 1 ounce of gold has probably been lent over 100 times, even on the lbma, which is supposed to be a physical market. So yes, you might want to trade futures. If you're trading, it's a different story. But if you really want to own physical silver and gold, you need to buy the real thing. And the more people do that, the harder it's going to be for the bullion banks and the central banks to keep control of the fiat price of precious metals. And I've even designed a mug in my Teespring store that says only physical gold and silver will slay the bullion banks. And of course, the bullion banks are the banks that own the central banks. And on the back of the mug, it says at maneco64. So there you go. That's my message for today. Hopefully, more and more people, more and more of the deplorables like us will be buying physical gold and silver in 2021 so we can slay the bullion banks in 2021. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Twitter, Parler, and all these other platforms below. I wish you all a great start to the week. Take care. Bye.